You're ready. JD Post.
Morning, this is call number 2020-36721 in the interest of Nova Trench. Parties, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Shanice Trench and mother.
And for the state?
Sade Parker, Your Honor.
Court will note that the now custodial parent is Mervyn Mitchell Briggs.
Yes.
And Mr. Briggs was served on November 20th, 2020 at 4:22 p.m. at 509 Avenue G, Kentwood, Louisiana, and Tajibrahoa Parish. He's not filed an answer, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor.
And it seems, and it appears that Mr. Briggs was given notice of this Zoom hearing by certified mail. It's delivered January 25th, 2021.
Yes, sir.
When they say, Ms. Parker, that the item is delivered to the original sender, what does that mean? That means it was returned undeliverable?
Let me see, Your Honor. I don't believe that's what it said. Let me look. I have to pull it up again. Give me 1 second. Yes, I think it was sent back, Your Honor. So then we'll just be proceeding with the no answer default then.
All right, let's proceed.
Your Honor, the state would like to call Shanice Trench.
Okay.
Ms. Trench, can you state your name for the record and your relationship to the child?
Shanice Trench and mother.
And who is Nova's father?
Mervyn Briggs.
And are you currently married?
No.
Were you married when Nova was conceived?
No, ma'am.
And how do you know that Mervyn Briggs is Nova's father?
He is the only partner that I had at that time.
And he was also the only person that you were having intimate relations with, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also had those intimate relations in Texas, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking, and there's no possibility that anyone else could be Nova's father, correct?
Not at all.
And are you asking this court to establish a parent-child relationship between Nova Trench and Mervyn Briggs?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is Nova?
He is too.
And has Nova ever met Mr. Briggs?
No.
Has Mr. Briggs provided financially for Nova since he's been born?
No.
And you're currently requesting that this court appoint you as the sole managing conservator without a regard for geographic restriction, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Briggs does currently live in Louisiana, correct?
Yes.
And you're also requesting that Mr. Briggs receive supervised visitation, correct?
Yes.
And why are you requesting that Mr. Briggs receive supervised visitation?
Because I haven't spoken with him in 3 years, so I am not comfortable with him having Nova by himself.
And has he ever threatened to, before you had the baby, did he ever threaten to take your child and abscond with him to Louisiana and not return him?
Yes.
And you still have concerns regarding that?
Yes, ma'am.
And to your knowledge, is Mr. Briggs currently working?
Yes.
And where is he working?
Turner Industries,
And what is his position at Turner Industries?
pipe fitter.
How do you
And
know all
where-
this, ma'am, if you haven't talked to him in all this time or you haven't seen him in all this time? How
This
do you
is
know that?
from this is from whenever I last spoken with him.
And this was when?
April
did you
of
last-
2018.
18,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's where he was employed back then, right?
Yes.
But you don't know where he's employed now, correct?
That's correct.
Or even if he's working, you don't know.
That's correct.
All right. So, Ms. Parker, where are we going with that?
Your Honor, there's no testimony here that he's not still working there. We don't have based on her personal knowledge, he's a pipe fitter.
That's where he was working in 2018. He could be in
but
jail right now.
But Your Honor, there's no testimony that he's in jail, nor is there any testimony that he does not work there. Based on her personal knowledge.
Well, there's no testimony. There's probably no testimony that doesn't make $10 million a month either. So do I assume he makes $10 million a month?
Your Honor, if you want to assume that's not what she's testifying to.
No, she's testifying that she knew that he worked back in April of 2018 as a pipe fitter. That's all she knows. That's all. That's just
Yes, Your
what
Honor.
happened since that time.
Your Honor, well, he's not here to testify about what happened since that time. And this is the personal information that she does have.
As of April 2018. We're
Yes.
almost 3 years.
And he was served in this matter, and he could have came to advocate and say, oh no, I do this or I make this now. He chose not to show up. So we are going based on her personal knowledge, and this is her personal knowledge.
Well, I'm accepting her personal knowledge that he worked as a pipe fitter in 2018. I don't know where he works now. I don't have any idea if I don't even know if he's in jail or not. And yeah, I think that's going to be a hard, a hard thing to convince me that he's still working as a pipe fitter and he's still making whatever type of money he was back at that time.
Miss Trench, do you follow Mr. Briggs on any type of social media?
My mom does.
Your mom follows Mr. Briggs on social media, so you
Well,
don't follow.
no, I'm sorry. She follows his wife. She follows his wife, not him.
Double hearsay. Go ahead.
Ms. Briggs, were we able to confirm through the Bureau of Labor Statistics that a pipe fitter in Louisiana on average makes $59,800 per year?
Yes.
And you're asking the court to set child support based on the $59,800 per year that a pipe fitter would make and which makes the gross monthly on that $4,983.33 per month, correct?
Yes.
And with that, that will be that you're asking the court to set child support at $570 per month, giving him credit for the 3 other children that he has, correct?
Yes.
And do you have private health or dental insurance available for your child?
No.
And do you know if Mr. Briggs has private health or dental insurance available for your child?
No.
And are you requesting that the court set medical support at $224?
Yes.
And you're requesting that the child support and medical support all start on March 1st, 2021, correct?
Yes.
And are you also requesting that the court take a retroactive child support judgment in the amount of $18,693, correct?
Yes.
And you're requesting that that be paid back at $144 per month, correct?
Yes.
Starting on March 1st, 2021.
Yes.
And you're also requesting that Mr. Briggs be responsible for 50% of all uncovered health insurance costs, correct?
Yes.
And you're also requesting that you're also requesting that your address and phone number information not be disclosed in this order, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any safety concerns with Mr. Briggs having access to your address and phone number information?
Yes, I do.
And what are those concerns?
I am afraid that I will be harassed if he knows my like where I live.
Okay, so you're afraid that you or your child may come to undue harm or harassment if he has access to your phone number and address, correct?
Yes.
And you're asking this court to grant you a non-disclosure on information and make a finding on the disclosure of information, correct?
Yes.
What makes you feel that you're going to be harassed or harmed in any way?
It's just because of our last encounter.
Your last what? I'm sorry?
Our last encounter.
And what happened then? And when was it?
We had a huge argument, and that was April of 2018.
And what happened?
I mean, it was an argument, and he was heated, I was heated, and he left, and that was it.
Was there any violence?
No, it wasn't.
Well, I'm not gonna grant a non-disclosure, that's for sure.
Miss Trench, after that argument when you say that the argument with Mr. Briggs was heated, was Mr. Briggs in your face yelling at you?
Oh, yes. Well, yes, he was, but it wasn't any violence. Like,
yeah, he didn't push you. I'm not saying he physically put his hands on you, but did you feel threatened?
I did.
And you feel that if he was to have access to your phone number or your address, that harm could possibly come to you or your child, correct?
Yes.
And are you asking this court to order that Mr. Briggs to pay all court costs as billed?
Yes.
Are you asking this court to grant this default judgment?
Yes.
And do you believe this would be in the best interest of your child?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, I'll deny the non-disclosure. Husbands and wives or lovers or whatever get in arguments all the time. And I'll reluctantly grant the rest of it.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You need to give me an amended
I will. Ms. Trench,
order.
Ms. Trench, if you can log in back to the other Zoom, I'll come over there in a minute because I just have to send you it to re-sign. I just have to change something and then we'll be done. So go ahead and log back in over there and someone will put you in the room.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Your Honor, I'm going to admit the other party.
Okay. Ms. Armstrong?
I believe she's still connecting to her audio, Your Honor.
Well, I don't see her. Is she around? There, she's connecting. Yes, I see that.
Okay. Okay, it's connected. Your Honor. Unmute.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, this call is number 2023-7507. In the interest of Elia Armstrong, please raise your right hand to be sworn, ma'am. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Sharima Armstrong. I'm the mother.
All right. And for the state?
Sharday Parker, Your Honor.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent is Trelon Johnson. Mr. Johnson was served on November 30th, 2020 at 1:40 p.m. He's not filed an answer. Is that correct, Ms. Parker?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would like to call Sharima Armstrong.
Okay.
Ms. Armstrong, can you state your name and your relationship to the child?
Sharima Armstrong. I am the mother of Aaliyah Armstrong.
And who is Aaliyah's father?
Traylon Johnson.
And are you currently married, Ms. Armstrong?
No.
And were you married at the time Aaliyah was conceived?
No.
And who is, oh wait, how do you know that Mr. Armstrong is, no, I'm sorry. How do you know that
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, yeah, Mr. Johnson is Aaliyah's father?
He was the only one during the time of conceiving Aaliyah.
Okay, and there's no possibility that anyone else can be Aaliyah's father, correct?
No.
And are you asking this court to establish a parent-child relationship between Mr. Johnson and Aaliyah?
Yes.
And how old is Aaliyah?
8 months.
8 months. Okay. And you are requesting that you and Mr. Johnson be joint managing conservators, correct?
Yes.
And you're also requesting that you be the conservator with the right to establish Aaliyah's primary residence without regard to geographic restriction, correct?
Yes.
And how is Aaliyah, I mean, do you have private health or dental insurance available for Aaliyah at this time?
Yes.
And how is she covered on health insurance?
Fully covered under my company's insurance, my job.
Okay. And are you requesting that Mr. Johnson pay cash medical support to in the amount of $103 per month?
Yes.
And are you also requesting that Mr. Johnson pay cash dental support in the amount of $10 per month?
Yes.
And are you also requesting that Mr. Johnson pay child support in the amount of $205 per month beginning on March 1st, 2021?
Yes.
And all this is based off the minimum wage presumption, correct?
Yes.
And are you also requesting retroactive child support from the period of June 1st, 2020 through February 8th, 2021, correct?
Yes.
And you're requesting that in the amount of $1,845, correct?
Yes.
And you're requesting that that be paid back at $54 per month, correct?
Yes.
All beginning on March 1st, 2021, correct?
Yes.
You're also asking for a retroactive medical support judgment from the period between May 20th, 2020 and November 23rd, 2020 in the amount of $2,628.
Yes.
And you're requesting that that be paid back at $25 per month beginning on the first day of March 2021, correct?
Yes.
And you're not requesting retroactive dental support, correct?
Correct.
And you're also requesting that Mr. Johnson be responsible for 50% of all uncovered health expenses, correct?
Yes.
And you're also requesting that Mr. Johnson be responsible for all court costs as billed, correct?
Yes.
And are you requesting that the court grant this default judgment?
Yes.
And you believe it's in the best interest of your child, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order submitted. Thank you. You're
Thank you,
excused.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ms. Armstrong, you're free to go. You can log off. You're done for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.